It's a great transition, because the question I would like to talk about now is this concept of a team, a management team. That at times I think that there's this thought that an entrepreneur is a soloist, is someone who has an expertise in everything, in forecasting, in accounting, in the technology side. And that's often not the approach. We want to emphasize there are opportunities there for collaboration. As you've heard, that the key is to surround yourself with complementary people with complementary skills. Any thoughts about how to create that effective management team so I can really take this idea, this creative concept, to the marketplace and it becomes a reality? Because we want to really emphasize in this session how to make this a reality.
For every Mark Zuckerberg who starts the company and takes it public, there's 1,000 other entrepreneurs that realize that they're not the same person who's going to build the airplane, take off the airplane, fly it, and land it. That is generally not how it's done. Most entrepreneurs are limited in the CEO role, and they're going to quickly outgrow their capability to run that company. So I think the first thing you need to do is take an inventory of skills that you and your co-founders actually have. Be that fundraising skills, technical development, commercialization, marketing, financial projecting, and figure out what you don't have, and then try to find team members that complement that. A great first step, low budget step, is to start an advisory board. Generally, your advisory board is not compensated. So it's a free tool to get some advisors in there that have experience in those core areas and have them provide feedback to you. Use them as a sounding board until you have the funds and until your business is developed enough to go out and bring on paid team members or bring on board of directors.
And sometimes you can pull in students as well, and Bruce mentioned that a little bit earlier too, that there might be students in some of the graduate programs that have expertise or are learning new skills that they really want some hands-on experience using, and that can be a great place to get some of this work done. They may not end up being your management team, but they can fulfill some of those needs for helping to flesh out the business plan, the commercialization plan, doing some of that hands-on work that you need done as an entrepreneur, as an inventor, that maybe really isn't in your bailiwick, that isn't something that you're interested in, or that you really want to have that steep learning curve to learn how to do yourself. And I know, Mike, you work a lot with students here at ECU.
Sure. There are, last I checked, over 28,000 at this school, and a lot of them are very talented, extremely talented, hardworking, and want practical experience. There's a lot of classes that are service learning classes. Search the web at ECU, find these classes that can actually help you with some components as you start to take your idea from just concept to reality. I think that it will surprise you the amount of resources among our students at the undergraduate and graduate level. As we start to wrap up, it's almost time for Q&A. Just a quick around the table. Any final thoughts?
Well, I'd like to emphasize the importance of collaboration from the standpoint of it is a continual process. There are people at ECU who introduced me to the right people, who were able to bring money to the table, who were able to bring expertise and resources to the table. Ted and his team have left, but Marty Hackney's team and Marty's team, and there are people here who know people, particularly if you're interested in developing a business in Eastern North Carolina. Take advantage of that. This is my third medical startup. The first one, many years ago, foundered until we got the right CEO in that position, and that company is now the most successful medical simulation company in the world. The second one never had the right CEO, and that company completely tanked. I think we have the right CEO, but we got our CEO because the principal angel investor knew this person, knew of this person, and he's done 6 or 7 startups, a couple for ECU in the past, and he's the right guy in the right place at the right time. A lot of this is pure chance and happenstance and meeting the right people and interacting and networking and so forth, but there are people here who can help you do those kinds of things. If you don't ask for their help, though, they're not going to come knocking on your door.
Well said. Final thoughts about idea to marketplace.
Yeah, don't give up on your idea. A huge part of this is just your persistence in pursuing this idea. So my final bit of advice would be work hard at it. It's not going to be quick. It's not going to be easy, especially if it's your first time through, but stick with it, and I think you'll be rewarded in the end.
It's funny how I think we're all sort of picking up on the same thing, that, like we said at the beginning, there's no one right way to do this. I think there's also no one thing that you can do that messes it up completely. So if you feel like you're a little bit farther along and you haven't yet taken the time to talk to anybody about it, there's still time to talk to people about it and expand your network. If you feel like you've gone down one particular path and it's not coming to fruition the way that you had anticipated, you can pivot. There are things that you can do to back up and change directions. And we can help you figure that out, as can all of your colleagues, and that's where that creative thinking that you do every day is really going to stand you in good stead as you're thinking about ways that you can maybe change direction a little bit, redo some of the things that you've done in the past. So definitely don't give up on the idea. And also, it's common to fail as an entrepreneur and as an inventor. It's very common to fail, and it really builds your resume and your CV to have a lot of failures even. So it's not a bad thing to try this and see what happens and book it up to experience and then move on to the next great idea that you have.